Yo, what's going on, guys? Let me fix this camera up real quick and we'll get this thing started. Hope you're having a good day so far. It's a blessing every single fucking day, and it's exciting every day, especially in Web3. I got hit with some heavy news, but it honestly kind of expected it, and you just kind of take that and you roll with it. And as I'm gonna quote Dean on this one, he said, "This is how we evolve." I kind of knew this decision was coming, and it was just a matter of time. But we're getting closer and closer to making some things happen. I'm excited about it. Honestly, it's the craziest thing I've ever decided to do. But we're here. All right, so let me pull this up here. I got an intro for you guys. We're gonna take a look at some other things, but we're gonna finish up that article that we started on yesterday regarding Bitcoin and liquidity issues, and the opportunities that will now be available that Bitcoin is on Solana. I've been, taking every little bit that I can afford to put over there into Bitcoin, swapping it, in my wallet, and posting proof of that as I do it. Dollar cost averaging always is going to be. Turn this fucking thing down. It's going to be the way to go. That's the wrong one. I wanted to change this guy. All right, that should be good. Earlier in the GM chat, my phone died, but we should be good to go on this one. I don't think we're going to die today or on this one. Let's pull this up here. Everything is taking a second, but let me play this for you as things load up. And I got some exciting news. I don't know how much I can release just yet, but talking with Zeus Network, organizing some potential collaborations with spaces, some streams, some content, all of that kind of fun stuff. DD Gaming is updating and creating new user interfaces for the Scrolly app or Scrolly game. So there's a lot of stuff being done behind the screen. So let's take a look at this and we'll get into everything else. I cannot wait for that phone to be dropped, man. I'm super pumped for it. Definitely excited to get that thing in my hands and see what we got cooking. All right, so let's see what we got here. Looks like I didn't update that. So let me see if I can do this real quick. And pull up some other things for you. What's up, Ruka? Right. Definitely. I wish you could see her right now. Them big old puppy dog eyes. Come on. You want to say hi? Get up here. Come on. She's not coming up. Just wants attention. Crazy. But anyway. Welcome back, guys. This is the daily stream. I'm SMS, your host, and this is presented by SMS Live. The reason I say that is if you guys got a show, if you got something you want to put on live stream, I'd be more than happy to help you produce that, put it out there. And if you needed a host, I'll do the most. But again, let's get into it. The daily stream is where I bring you crypto news, announcements, and let me wait on that. Mindset in general, Web3 information, stuff that's going on, the timeline, stuff that's going on behind, closed doors, behind the screen that you might not know about. I try to help keep you guys tapped in with the communities, especially all the things that I get into. The stuff that I align with, it's every single day. You're not going to catch me out here trying to show you something that I don't truly believe in or at least have my hands or elbows in it. You know, I'm really working with the stuff that we got going on here. I go live every single day, Monday through Friday, sometimes on the weekends to break down what's happening in the space, to keep the community tapped in, like I said, and help move things forward. The name of the game is to show up and bring the vibes and value along the way. No bullshit, keeping it real, straight up. Let's see. If you guys don't know me, I'm SMS. I'm a crypto content creator focused on the Solana ecosystem, helping and working to keep Solana simple for everyone, whether you're new to Web3 or whether it's something that you've kind of been around for a while. There are different things that you don't know about where it's easy to kind of miss it with everything going on in the space, how fast things are moving. You know, everybody was wondering about Pump Fund because their account was down. Well, they weren't the only one. There was like 20 other accounts that have been taken down over the last 2 to 3 days. And it seems like that was a lot to do with them not paying the API, I guess the bill or something like that. And it was like shared accounts. Basically, it sounded like what we used to do or still do, not gonna lie, with like Netflix and you know, YouTube TV and stuff like that, where you can share an email address and a password and they can get all the same access. Well, it seems like they kind of cracked down on that, so everybody's, you know, paying their fair share. Don't know exactly, haven't seen an official statement. There are some other headlines relating Pump Fund to investigation with the SEC, but that could have just been another speculation as well. But my goal, like I said, is to highlight blockchain tech, what crypto offers everyone, not just the people here, people outside of the space that might be, you know, interested in getting into it because they know or they see that this is the way that things are kind of unraveling, I guess. It's the best way to put that. You know, crypto is not just for what we do here. We're finding new ways for dApps, new ways for, you know, digital payment systems to work, like Flipcash. And speaking of that, let's go ahead and play this real quick, just because I genuinely like this this commercial. Is it? I guess it's this one. All right, guys, there's the article right there. Let me switch things up real quick because I do want to tap into that commercial. And the reason I put those things together, first off, Bonk is, you know, that's the OG. Hold on a second. That's not what I wanted. All right, there I am. All right, so Bonk is like the OG meme coin. When it comes down to meme coins, you can buy all of these new ones that come out. You can buy the highest conviction of the best trader, yada, yada, yada. You're probably late. You're probably late to the game. And, you know, there's just a lot of people out here. What's going on, Jules? I see you in here. But you're probably late to the game. And the thing about that is somebody's going to dump on your head, and it's always a race to see who the first one out is. Well, with Bonk, it's been around since 2023, I believe, maybe even 2022 around Christmas time. But it was basically what saved Solana. It gave people the vibes. It got people excited because there weren't meme coins before. It was just NFTs. It was a liquid JPEGs that everybody was losing their ass on. And when this came out, it really, really got excitement stirred up, and it got people kind of, seeing like, hey, we could do something kind of cool here. Well, I mean, turn around, 3-4 years later, fast forward, and you see we have games, you have integration with fitness apps, you have so many different integrations with Bonk. For me, it just seems silly to like buy and speculate on these other, other coins that might give you similar or same returns. I think you're playing so much at the casino. Maybe I just play too much at the casino, where it's like I see it for what it is, and it's just really not worth it. I mean, the amount of times that people have lost money on a meme coin, if they were to buy Bitcoin, if they were to buy Bonk and just dollar cost average and invest long term and just things like this, like even Jupe would be a good, in my opinion, would be something good to buy under 50 cents. Jupe's a no brainer. But Jupiter's not going anywhere. Like all of the investments, I made a post, like, mostly what's all in my wallet, for the most part, it's stuff that if it went down 99% today, I'd still buy it. If I, the next point where I was going to buy it, probably at 99% down, because that'd be hell of a discount, but it's basically free for real at that point. But my point is, if it goes down that much, how long is it, going to take for that thing to be dismissed and kind of wrote off? Well, I don't think any of these ones are. I think these are going to be around, kind of like your legacy coins, your long-term investments on Solana. I mean, you can buy Solana and you can use the DeFi and all of that, but there are other plays, within that. Seeing the ZBTC, as an opportunity. Like I said, I've been taking the dust. I've been taking little things that I'm able to and swapping that over to Bitcoin, because if I don't hold anything, I'd rather hold Bitcoin at the end of the day, especially on Solana, where it's pegged 1-to-1, where you have the exact same value and security and the native properties that Bitcoin offers you. You have that available through Solana with the SPV. So there's a lot of really cool things going on that end. And again, with Bonk, look how many games, look how long they've been around, look what they've done for the ecosystem, look at the events, this giant fucking dog on top of the buildings and stuff like that. Like all of that's, to get some attention, but it's also like they can do that. Not everybody's going to be able to, perform like that. Like look at Cat Istanbul. I think that's another one that kind of like highlights the seriousness around Jupiter and what they're, putting together. Not limited to these are just the ones that I've ended up with at this point, and some of the things I like the most, regarding Solana and what they have to offer. Now the other one is Flipcash. I worked with these guys when they had Getcode. They've evolved. They had a different project or app that they were trying to launch. Really, I don't think it got that much traction. However, these guys never stopped building. These were the creators of Kick Messenger, and even when that got sued and shut down, they continued to build. They continued to believe in what they saw in Solana back in 2019. Ted put a whole long ass post together. I read through it earlier this morning when I was talking to him, kind of talking about the tipping mechanism. Adding the tip feature where you guys could tip me for being on here, whether it's a penny or $1 or $100, whatever it is. You could pay for the services with Flipcash the same exact way. And I said to him, I was like, that was the best way for me to get monetized, because you didn't have to wait on X. It was directly, from your audience, from the people that want to support you. They're able to help out on that end, and it made a difference on some things here and there. And I think that is, something. Again, I want to talk to people in space, see their thoughts on how that works, because the tipping, like I guess it's like a community kind of thing. Like people just want to send tips back and forth. It does get a little saturated, and you start to see people trying to take advantage of it and stuff like that. But I think for peer-to-peer, person-to-person, and wanting to tip the people that are, showing up, doing stuff for you, I think it's a good option. I think I might even have, do I still have the little, no, I don't have it anymore. I used to have a little like logo that you would scan with the Getcode. Well, Flipcash did the same thing. They just switched it around. So it's a Flipcash, same QR kind of code, not exactly the same ones you can scan with your phone. You have to use their app for it to read it. And I mean, it's as simple as that. And it's built on top of Solana's infrastructure, so it's faster than any of the other transaction you're ever going to see. It's actually kind of wild. Very excited for that to come out. And again, like all of these different integrations, they're all directly used through your phone. So that's why I played that first one with the Seeker, because the Solana Seeker, in my opinion, it's like the next evolution of Solana Mobile. I really do think that they want to be more in your hand than on these devices and screens and stuff like that. I think they want you to be able to move around seamlessly. Same way that you bring Solana and Bitcoin together. But in all reality, I just think that that's the progression of Solana with gaming. On top of that, you got to look at developers like Dean putting Scully together, trying to combat doom scrolling, finding ways to use Solana gaming, using Solana's tech to be able to sign in with your wallet and be able to keep a high score, be able to get bonuses and incentives for playing these games. This is stuff that typically you get points maybe, and then like their in-game currency and stuff like that. That's why to me, Web3 gaming is an inevitable like a feature when it comes to gaming in general, whether it's PC, whether it's like Xbox, PlayStation, all that kind of stuff. Like look at GTA. That's another one. They're going to have actual currency in the game. Like that's a wild avenue to go down, but it's going to be fun. It's going to bring people together. It's going to get people playing these games. And the more and more we talk about this, share it out there and get people, hands on. I really do think that that's somewhere to go. So if you haven't got your pre-order for the Seeker, fuck it, man. I want to play this one again. Yeah, dude, if you don't get pumped up from seeing that commercial, like watch it a couple more times. So they said, first the hardware, and that's where I saw the saga, and then seeing the software, and that's where you're starting to see the implementations and the evolution with the seed vault, with Soulflare, with being able to have the open system where you can, create this on any device. Like that's huge. That is monumental stuff that I don't think gets enough recognition. So that's why I talk about it every single day, because I'm bullish on it. Being in a position that I'm in, I was like, hey, I've got some choices to make. Do I want to invest into my future? Do I want to invest into just getting by through the next couple of days? I was like, I don't know. I'm playing my odds here. I think I'll be around towards the end of summer, so I might as well make this investment right now and make sure I get this thing, because with the Genesis token, with everything that comes with the Seeker and Solana Mobile, the SKR token, you guys saw that says for developers and users. This is going to be the token for the future for all mobile devices going forward. This is going to be rewarded for using it, for developing on it. And for me, I was like, well, I think this is the way that things are going. I'm going to get myself one of these phones and do the pre-order. So I'm glad I did that. I think you guys should really consider taking a look at that, see what it has to offer. And before we get into the Bitcoin paper and read the rest of that, I want to play one more for you guys and we'll get this ball rolling. All right, guys, very bullish on Helium Mobile, and again, that just ties back into the Solana Mobile thing. And dude, take a look at it. I'm enjoying the service so far. It's something I think it hit me at the right time just because of the situation I'm in. But it goes hand in hand with everything we're doing, guys. Use what we have so you can talk about it to other people so they can say, what's this all about? You know, most people think crypto is just this magical internet coin, but it's like if they sat down and even just listened into this stream, they'd be like, holy shit, wait, what? Games, cell phones, free plans? What are you talking about? I thought this was crypto. I thought this was scam. I thought this were NFTs. And it's like, no, dog. That is just the beginning. That was us opening Pandora's box of what is possible in the world. And man, I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to be part of it and contribute and you know, highlight some of the best things I see in the space. Being hands-on with this stuff, guys, it really helps you kind of, like I said, highlight the blockchain tech, show you what offer or crypto can offer everybody, not just us on the X. You know, I urge you guys to get out of X a little bit more often. Start talking to your friends on other platforms. They might think it's completely crazy. They might think that your computer's hacked or whatever it is. Just explain to them like, no, this is real. You just are so mind washed or brainwashed or whatever it is. Like, I don't know. There's a community, there's a culture, there's a whole movement behind this stuff. I mean, we're getting more and more IRL events. You know, my ass is about to make a huge major life change I would have never ever done. I'll tell you right now, if I didn't get into crypto, I would have made moves weeks ago to secure a safety net. To like, I had a call with the dude Scotty, and I told him, I was like, I don't have a fucking plan. I don't have a backup plan. I have no safety nets. This is make it or make it. Like that, there's literally one option. I got to make it. And if I don't make it here, I got to figure out what I got to do to put this together and make it happen over here. So I'm not going to make any announcements with anything until like things are bought, things are done, things are in that working order. But we are definitely moving forward and doing some things I would have never, ever, ever thought about doing in my life. And it's all thanks to crypto. Like I made a post the other day, like, you know, crypto definitely changed my life. And I think that Web3 might have actually helped save, you know, parts of it, because it was dark times. I was coming out of a divorce. I was coming out of not knowing what the fuck is going on, losing pretty much everything I knew from previous life. Like, you know, growing up, friends, family, all of that. Like it's like somebody pulled that plug and was like, now you got to really figure this shit out, dog. You want to be, you know, you want to be that individual, independent person. Well, here's a reality check. You know, not everybody's built to do it this way, and I would not wish this shit on my worst opponent or enemy. Like it's hard, but I think that with this community, with what we have here, this is where some of us are supposed to be, because we're going to be able to share these stories and share, you know, the struggle that it took to get there. And I posted about this earlier. It was, you know, your struggle is your gift. It's the stuff that you get to share with people. It gives your brand something more than just a cute logo or a bunch of followers or people showing up to your space or your stream or whatever the fuck it is. Like that's a byproduct of your hard work, dedication, and you know, success is showing up every single day, trying to get 1% better. And I tell people this every day. I try to make sure at least to tell one person this, but I try to make sure this message gets across to everyone. You know, if you show up every single day, one morning you're going to wake up an overnight success. And it's not meaning that everything happened overnight. It means if you show up every single day and you keep, you know, consistency with that, you are going to wake up one morning and your answers are going to be there. Like the problems are going to be solved, but you have to be ready for them. And I guess I can't stress this enough. Like I've always found a way to comfort myself or to find an outlet or to find some resources to save my ass. Like it ain't here this time. This is as real as it gets. And like I said, me and Dean were talking and he was like, this is the evolution. This is where you're supposed to be, I think. And yeah, I believe it. So shout out to all you guys. Shout out to everybody in the space and Web3 that you know, trying to move this better, cultivate a better space in place for everybody moving forward. Because I mean, if we're here now, this is going to be a curriculum for other people to learn down the road. This is going to be what your kids, your nieces, nephews, your family is going to be understanding, or at least have to figure out. And what better voice than yourself? You know, what better voice than somebody that's been hands-on for the last 10, 15 years or whatever when the time comes around? Because I do think it'll be 2030 or sometime around that point where we'll see mass adoption and you'll see maybe more than 1% of the population owning some crypto. We need to have it so gaming is just seamless. You need to have it so cell phones are free and seamless for everybody to use if they choose to, and then you can have the tiers, so on and so forth. But you know, I don't think everybody's completely wrong thinking the NFTs were kind of like a scam. Because I mean, look how many times we got burnt. Look at all of your NFTs. Literally every one of them is down from their highs, and there's not a trajectory. There's not a trend. Like there is with Solana, like there is with Bitcoin, like there is with these other coins. And as we're seeing as time goes on, these cycles are changing. We used to think that we had this thing down packed. Like this cycle is not like any cycles we've seen before. A lot of people are saying that meme coins are going to outperform all the altcoins. The altcoin seasons are going to be very, very concentrated and very, very small compared to what they used to be. I believe that too. I think that that's kind of spot on when it comes to what to expect in the future and what you can kind of see with this space. But yeah, if you guys like what you see, man, in my on my bio, there's the link tree. It has all of the different platforms that I post my content to. I got 2 videos out this morning regarding DCA and dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin. It's something I wanted to show and share with you guys. Let me Jay. Give me 1 second. Let's pull this up here and go over here without breaking everything. And let's share this real quick. I got you. Boom. Ta-da. Hey, it worked. All right. So first things first, I know we're going to get to some other stuff real quick. Want to shout out Nick with Gambles. We're going to be doing the one-on-one show this Thursday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Really excited to talk with him and learn a little bit more about his story and kind of where he's from, his background, all of that kind of stuff, how he got involved into where he's at now. And I don't know. I think the dude's got so much energy. It's going to be a fun stream to pull up on. Past that, let's see. I was telling you guys about this. Dean, he's the dev with DD Gaming Labs. The playable social feed on Solana is looking fresh with the update. I got some pictures of this, screenshots. Looks pretty dope. I think you should be proud of it, bro. Like, Dean, you're fucking killing it. If you're watching this, bro, like, I got your back all the way to the, all the way to the end of this thing. We'll see this all the way through. And this is just the first one. This is the first MVP that, we put together and he's been building, and I'm excited to make some content and share this with you. So we're going to be getting on a call to work on some different strategies as far as how to curate the content. I have some ideas, but I want to talk with him and put this together and, make an impact, something that you could share on other platforms, not just X, because I think that Scrolly is going to be more of a benefit for not necessarily X users, because X is, I keep saying X because it's crypto people in general. That's where most of us just kind of think that this is a huge space, but it's only a collective group of us on a chat or in a chat room for the most part. But I think that the Scrolly app and game is going to be something that everyday people would like to use. There was a 2-year-old playing the game. Just think about that. Comprehend a 2-year-old playing a Web3 crypto game. Sure, they don't know how to sign in. They can't do all of that, but they shouldn't have a cell phone to begin with without a parental guidance or somebody handing them the phone. So you just shouldn't expect that. But the fact that, most people grab their phone, they get in the car, they say, hey, here, whatever. And these kids are looking and doing whatever. Well, now you're going to have a point where you can play a game that's beneficial for you, them, and everybody else. It's not doom scrolling. It's not watching a bunch of craziness on there. It's fun games that you can play all day long, and you're able to get rewards for climbing up the high scores. So that's definitely something I think is going to be exciting to see. But it's only the first. It's only the first MVP. The plan is to get multiple ones, out here and running. And I have some ideas as far as games. I know he's got some ideas. We talked about that. But make sure you guys follow DD Gaming Labs and keep your eyes on them. Keep your eyes on the TikTok as well. There's some really good content out there where he's talking with people. We're talking about Dean. Is talking with people in public, kind of explaining what this is, what the idea behind Scrolly is, and how it's the world's first, social feed, for Web3 for Solana. So shout out to Dean doing that. And at the end here, he said each game on the feed, or new functions include like, comment, and share on each game on the feed, which means there's an algorithm coming. So interesting stuff seeing that. There's a little message about the news that I got. We'll just skip over that. But this is right here, the video about the dollar cost averaging. I don't buy Bitcoin, or I don't time the Bitcoin dips. I don't try to say, oh, it's going to hit right here. I just, buy as I can with the amount. I try to keep the same amount, every single week. But dollar cost averaging keeps it simple and stress-free. If you're in it for the long run and you're still trying to catch bottoms, good luck. Keep it simple. Dollar cost average. Pick a day on the month, the week, whatever you want to do. Things crash and you can time it correctly. go for it. But again, this is the kind of content I share on all the different platforms that I'm on. Every single day, I drop at least 1 to 2 videos, and having a good time with it. And here's proof of me actually, making a transfer, actually using this, not just talking shit, not just showing you 100x from this game I'm playing. This is literally my wallet, me swapping over some of the things that I got in here. Not everything all at once, just a little bit here, a little bit there, but ZBTC, guys, take a look at this. Do your own research when it comes into it, but this is going to be a good opportunity for you to get involved with Bitcoin on Solana. And if you ever want to go back and just make it Bitcoin, you go to Apollo, you're going to be able to do it right through there. I joined in with the Bull Vibes chat this morning after my space abruptly ended because the battery died, or the stream rather. The battery died on my phone, so we had to move things over there. But that's it for the day. That's pretty much the start of the day. So why don't we just move things over right away and take a look at this. This is the article we read through yesterday, kind of breaking things down, explaining them to you. I would highly, suggest taking a look at the documents on Zeus Networks page, because this is a lot of the information in the beginning part. If you missed this yesterday, this is a good chance for you to get caught up. But guys, there's 31 of you in here. I do appreciate all of your support. If you could hit that reshare, repost, whatever you got to do, tag a friend, get them in here. So they can find out a little bit about how Zeus is coming into play for BTC and turning Bitcoin into a multi-chain powerhouse. Let's see, all right. So SPV, I was thinking about simplified payment verification. So I was saying that right. There we go. Let's see. Here's the flow chart. We went over this yesterday. How you can start with regular native Bitcoin, and it ends up being Solana, Bitcoin, ZBTC in your wallet right here. And this is minting it right through the Apollo system, and it has the steps right here. The Zeus node operator collects BTC deposit request from the user's hot reserve and initiates a lock-in proposal to store your Bitcoin the same way you would anywhere else and keep it safe. So go through this and take a look at this. We went through that. Okay, so I think this is where we're at right here. Right? All right, so let's just start from here. Stacking sats, how Zeus helps you earn more BTC. Let me make this a little bit bigger for the blindies. I can't see anything. All right, so Zeus unlocks Bitcoin productivity. The first step is yield generation. Users can lend ZBTC and earn real BTC denominated yield, a paradigm shift from earning altcoin rewards on wrapped Bitcoin platforms. What does that mean? That means you get yourself some ZBTC from minting it from Apollo, or you can just swap it in your wallet, and then you would be able to, enter the yield generation point where you're going to get real Bitcoin denominated yield. You understand what I'm saying? It's set up in a way that you don't have to go through the previous methods that had fragmentation, that had issues with L2s, that had all of this craziness going on. The current ZBTC DeFi pools offer BTC native double-digit APYs. That means you're getting a hell of a return on your Bitcoin, the #1 asset in the world, right? With yields denominated directly in BTC rather than volatile farm tokens, as Zeus integrates more apps, including swaps, stablecoins, and staking derivatives, holders will be able to stack sats with greater capital efficiency. Now, somebody was asking a question. I'm not going to go over this just because I don't have it ready, but it was a post kind of talking about diminishing returns. And what they do is, I don't know exactly the best way to describe this, but I want to do this next time for you so you understand what I'm talking about. Some people are concerned about diminishing returns with the volatility, I guess. They've set it up in a way that is negated, where they're only doing it off the yield, I believe, but don't quote me on that because I could be, saying that the wrong way. But they definitely put this into account. They were forward thinking when it came into that. So Zeus enables a future where your Bitcoin earns more Bitcoin natively, permissionlessly, and across chains. Yield generating strategies can be found directly on Apollo's website and on X. We expect the yield generating opportunities to continue growing as more dApps will build on top of Zeus. This is something that I think would be super fucking dope for an idea I have for a game. If you were to, put in Solana or whatever token you would power the game up with, let's just for just simplicity's sakes, we'll just say that you enter in like an old school arcade game. You drop in a token, kind of like Bonk. You sign the transaction, and it's 10,000 Bonk tokens, and that gets either burnt or redistributed. They have a tokenomics set up where it goes to charity, it goes to burning, and it goes to buybacks. So you have all of those kind of things set up. I think buybacks. But there's an idea that I have. I want to talk to Dean about it. I want to talk to Zeus about it and see if this is something that could be worked out, because if so, would be amazing. But that's where we're at right now. More DApps are going to continue to build, and I mean, why not have the first BTC Solana game, right? That'd be fucking amazing. So here's the ZBTC ecosystem overview. You have all the different platforms and protocols right here. And this is why other solutions fall short. The challenge of building a Bitcoin ecosystem. Many Bitcoin scaling solutions attempt to create their own ecosystems, requiring new infrastructure, wallets, and developer adoption. However, history has shown that launching a new ecosystem from scratch is challenging. Network effects take time to build, and adoption is not guaranteed. Recent launches have further shown that building an ecosystem is hard, and it's not a guaranteed success. As an industry, we need to be and are moving away from L1, L2 infrastructure valuation premium that is oftentimes irrational and focused on real products with product market fit and growth. So it's no bullshit. It's no fluff. They're not trying to give you some vaporware. They're not trying to sell you an idea that hasn't been proven. This is all legitimate stuff here. Zeus Networks begins by connecting two already successful networks. Instead of competing with them, Bitcoin has proved itself to be a global store of value and has a 60% market share in the industry, while Solana is a greater execution environment. Basically, Bitcoin has the liquidity, it has the store of value, it has the security, it has all of these things. Well, Solana can execute that better, and Zeus has made this possible. So how Zeus avoids the common pitfalls: connect, don't compete. Unlike other solutions that demand the creation of an entirely new ecosystem, Zeus leverages existing high-performance blockchains like Solana rather than competing with them. This allows for instant access to established liquidity, developer communities, and infrastructure. No need to onboard new wallets or convince exchanges to support a new asset, seamlessly integrates with existing DeFi and on-chain applications. I think those are very huge statements there. Avoids reliance on centralized bridging mechanisms that introduce risks. Just more like doors to walk through. There's more hoops to jump through when you have a centralized bridging mechanism. With the seamless integration into DeFi and on-chain applications, it sounds like you'd be able to, swap it and then start, generating yield right away. We know that up here, if you take a look, you see all of these things. You've probably seen Meteora, HawkFi, Jupiter, Radium, all of these different ones. Obviously these as well. I'm not as familiar with these, but Drift is one that I've seen. But my point is, these things are out here. We know that they're established, they're working, and people, they support them. So instead of making people create a new wallet, create a new chain, create a new whatever the fuck, you have it set up right here. So Zeus versus Stacks versus Thorchain. So what makes Zeus better? Well, while many Bitcoin scaling projects have emerged, most fall into one of two traps. They either compromise on decentralization to achieve usability, or they introduce user experience friction and ecosystem isolation in pursuit of trustlessness. Stacks operates as a separate L1 anchored to Bitcoin by a proof of transfer, but suffers from slow finality, poor composability, and minimal traction in DeFi. Thorchain, meanwhile, enables BTC swaps with a pooled liquidity that has faced repeated security breaches and relies on a complex validator model with real custody risk. So your bottom line, you're just putting all of your assets at risk with all of these, with the Thorchain, and with Stacks, it's slow, not composable, and not a lot of traction in DeFi. So how do you avoid that? Well, Zeus avoids both categories of failure. It delivers a system that is trustless, verifiable, and fast using SPV proofs for Bitcoin and executing seamlessly with Solana's high-performance virtual machine. That's the SVM. So then it has it broken down here. If you guys want to take a look at this, this is probably a nice little, read or something to save. But it basically breaks down everything for you. Like each Zeus, Stacks, Thorchain, trust model, finality, asset type, smart contract, security, use cases, user experience and dev adoption and interoperability. The cumulative valuations of Stacks and Thorchain are at 2.2 billion. Zeus is fundamentally better product conceptually and in practice. ZBTC is about to become cross-chain asset enabling Bitcoin native composability. And if fundamentally Zeus is superior to both Stacks and Thorchain, Zeus is greater than Stacks plus Thorchain. Then, as a protocol matures, it should have a higher valuation than the sum of both. So the Zeus with a market cap of STX and Rune equals 2.2 billion, which would be, or what the fuck? 2.2 billion or a 10.8x greater than. I guess that's what they're trying to say. So the Zeus token. This is something you guys have seen in on the timeline recently. They're getting a surge, and I guess people are hoping that this gets back up to $1. I think it's at like 28 cents, if I'm not mistaken. I haven't looked at it in, I don't know, like 24 hours. But the Zeus token is not just another speculative asset. It's an economic engine behind the Zeus network. Bitcoin ecosystem represents $1 trillion TVL opportunity as liquidity is trapped and underutilized. Ecosystem protocols have historically reached 50% plus market cap of their base chain. I don't believe this metric will necessarily follow for Bitcoin. As a store of wealth chain, you will see ecosystem protocols accrue significant value. Zeus is a top contender for Bitcoin's ecosystem growth. It combines the leading global, in their opinion, store of wealth assets with the preferred execution environments. Bitcoin is supposed to be slow and safe, therefore not suitable as a user-friendly retail environment. Solana has been emerging as the all-time favorite execution or all-time user favorite. Does that make any sense? Execution chain. It's cheap, fast, and it just works. I mean, that's pretty standard. Therefore, having the ability to interlink Bitcoin with Solana, having the best of both worlds. And that to me is all I needed to see here. And honestly, once that seeped into my head, I was like, wait a second. Everything you want with Bitcoin now available on Solana with the community is in my opinion, that's one of the biggest parts, is having such a strong community backing it, knowing that, the end game has always been Bitcoin, not Solana, not Ethereum, nothing else. It's always been, the idea is to get as much Bitcoin you can, and we thrive in the Solana ecosystem. This community is goated. I mean, it's just, they get it, but therefore having the ability to interlink Bitcoin with Solana is having the best of both worlds. As Zeus network grows its ZPL ecosystem, there will be greater opportunities for Bitcoin holders to participate in on-chain yield generation and DeFi. This is super exciting stuff right here. Stuff we haven't really been able to see at this level. Just look at, DeFi maxis on Solana. They're all over the place. There's a lot of people that are just bullish on DeFi because of what it offers, the returns that you can get, the liquidity, the lending, borrowing, all of that. Like even Jupiter just introduced Jupe Lend. So we're seeing more and more of these opportunities, being created. So the stack is powered by the Zeus token. And as the stack grows, increasingly more Zeus tokens will be locked in the node Guardian. As a delegated Zeus, holders participate in the mission of securing cross-chain interactions between Bitcoin and other integrated chains while earning rewards for supporting the infrastructure. So when you go into the paperwork and the documents and you start to understand what the Zeus node Guardians and the Zeus token is and all of that kind of fun stuff, the Zeus nodes, you'll start to see that there are plans for other chains. There are other ideas that they have in place, but not there yet. I mean, they're getting closer. The what's it called? The Chainlink CCIP, the cross-chain interoperability protocol, is a big player in this. So just keep an eye out on that and their timeline. I'm sure that they're going to make announcements when the time comes, but you can also skip the line and get to the alpha and see where they're kind of aiming and where the roadmap kind of goes. So Zeus 2025 roadmap, scaling beyond Solana. Maybe they'll bring it up right here. Should everyone decide they no longer want to use Solana but switch to another hyper-performant chain, Zeus isn't chain-specific and aims to become a gateway for all from Bitcoin to all chains. So that really ties in what I just said. There's other chains, other ideas, other things that they've been looking at that are extremely possible. Does everybody decide to stop using Solana? Highly unlikely, but you can't rule that out. You have to make sure that there is an opportunity for that. Q2 in 2025, multi-chain expansion and more Guardians. Give me 1 second. Sick. All right. So the expansion and more Guardian. So what this is, what the hell? The amount of money erased from the crypto markets is insane. Where am I? All right. Strengthening the Zeus node security and decentralization through additional Guardian onboarding. Zeus V2 enables 2-block confirmation Bitcoin deposit faster than centralized exchange. Apollo mainnet V2 to support permissionless BTC with Wrap BTC swap, forming an ecosystem of decentralized Bitcoin applications on Solana. Lightning Finance. That's to be released shortly, I would imagine. You could check that out. It's on X as well. They got a page for that, but it's definitely something that they've been kind of hinting at. And you got to think, like, the Lightning chain or whatever it is for Bitcoin. I guess that's where they get that put together. But Lightning Finance, one-stop BTC yield aggregator on Solana. You have the BTC Soul, Stake Soul, accumulate ZBTC. So this is something I've been very, very, very bullish on. I've talked to everybody I think I fucking know in the space about this, and I was like, hey, you can stake your soul for Bitcoin. And they're like, what? How? No, whatever. And well, yeah, here you go. It's fucking right here. So instead of swapping it, you can just stake your Solana, and then the yield that you're going to get with that, you're going to accrue Bitcoin with that. And then you take your ZBTC over to Apollo, you swap that into regular Bitcoin if you want to do that, and you can put that into your ledger, whatever you got to do from there. But to be determined, you have Bitcoin-backed stablecoin on Solana. Let's see what else we got. Enabling institutional adoption of Bitcoin DeFi through more on-chain integration. So as we're seeing more institutional interest and them literally buying the shit out of Bitcoin. Like when you have Bitcoin near all-time high and you have institutional interest at all-time high, you need to start paying attention to that. The idea of a decentralized crypto and institutions buying majority of it, you have to keep that in the back of your head. I know we have all these things coming down the road, but they're picking up what we've been putting down. They have access to all the white papers. They have access to more funds. They have access to more everything. And you just got to think forward, like, hey, how do I stay ahead of this? How do I do this? Get involved here. Get involved on the ground layer on the way up. Otherwise, you're going to be paying a premium to start accessing some of this stuff. You're already paying a premium for most of your banking needs. Why wouldn't they implicate something like that? That's just something you might see on an institutional level. We want to keep it to a decentralized level, and we're losing that more and more every day as more and more people are coming in, getting excited about this, and seeing what's going on. Just a quick announcement, guys. Revelio space is coming up. If you don't know what Revelio is, just do your own research when it comes down to that. The homie, what's his name? Nick with Campbell's. He's going to be doing that space. I put a reminder up and it came up just now. So if you guys got time after this, go ahead and check them out. It probably is recorded, so keep that in mind. Now in Q3, what is going on? Expanding and moving more or UTXO based assets. Integrations of Litecoin, Dogecoin. This is what I was hinting at earlier. To bring you additional liquidity into the Zeus ecosystem. So the fact that they're looking at these and these haven't gone away, and these are things that most people are familiar with on a very, very entry level of crypto, because Litecoin and Dogecoin are some that are on mostly every exchange. These are some of the first ones you'll see in the news and the headlines and stuff like that. Dogecoin clearly blew up by Elon, but again, Dogecoin is one that I've talked to people about this before. I've done my own research with it, and the way it was drafted and the paperwork is very, very, very similar to Bitcoin's in a sense. So I think it makes sense to go down that route, especially with the interest. I mean, for me, I think that Dogecoin is undervalued. For how popular and how wildly successful it was, I just think right now you're undervalued with that. But it'd be interesting to see, more integrations, with Dogecoin. So now you have the future growth of Bitcoin as a universal liquidity layer, expanding to the permissionless Bitcoin beyond Solana into other blockchains. The latest updates and roadmap can be accessed here. It's a link for you guys to check out, and this is on the ZeusNetwork.notion.site. So if you guys wanted to take a peek, feel free to do so. Zeus is not just another Bitcoin scaling solution. It's the infrastructure that unlocks Bitcoin's full potential in a multi-chain world. This is like This is the TLDR of what's going on here. So make sure you guys focus in on that. Now, the multi-trillion-dollar bet on Zeus. This is where I'm putting my all of my eggs in this basket. Bitcoin is the largest untapped liquidity source in crypto. Zeus provides the only scalable, permissionless, and decentralized solution that allows Bitcoin to move freely across multiple blockchains without compromising its core principles, which is super, super important because that's how we got to where we are now with the core principles of the white paper, where Bitcoin was created to offer just anybody. This wasn't something where you had to be a who's who or anything. Like, people used to think you needed to buy one whole Bitcoin. You can buy like a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of Bitcoin. I mean, I just did a swap with a few bucks, so anybody can do it. Now, as adoption grows, Zeus is positioned to capture a significant share of Bitcoin's multi-trillion-dollar market, unlocking new financial applications, liquidity streams, and on-chain innovations. Even Solana has, touted this one as something to take a look at. Bitcoin shaking hands with Solana. Zeus Network's permissionless Bitcoin exchange Apollo is now live on Solana, permissionless and redeemable anytime. Huge stuff, guys. Groundbreaking stuff. I don't know if everybody knew this, but now you know. Disclaimer: nothing in this article constitutes investment advice. Mechanism Capital is an investor in the Zeus Network alongside with Spartan Group, OKX Ventures, Big Brain, Lemniscape, and Animoca. Angel investors include Anatoly Yakovenko and Mudib Ali and SMS. I'm just kidding. I'm not an angel investor. But there's some other articles down here. I'm not going to go through them or break them down. But guys, we are almost at an hour. This is good timing for everything. I'm going to take a quick look at everything I got here, and maybe we'll just stop that there. Let's see. Did I not share anything with you guys yet? I don't know why I can't hear that. Like, the volume for all of these little clips has gone away completely for me. So I can't hear anything. I know I've made them. I hear them all the time, but I still like to listen to them. But anyway, guys, that's pretty much everything I got for you for the daily stream today. I appreciate all of your support, man. It means the world to me. We're going to be getting, some representatives from the Zeus Network on stream. We're trying to organize a panel for a potential weekly space. So keep your eyes and ears out for that kind of stuff. If you want to be involved, you want to, help out with anything, feel free to hit me up on the DMs. And look, I'm available for hire. If you guys need a space host, if you need somebody to help with the stream, you have anything you need produced, you want to, launch a show with SMS Live, let me know. I'm in the market to take on as much work as humanly possible at this point. Definitely would help out a lot. If not, it's just going to see more churned out from me on my end. But I'm also hosting spaces every single night at 9. Monday through Friday. I was trying to do the weekends, but I don't know if I'm going to continue that. Maybe just kind of whenever's clever on the weekends, but definitely Monday through Friday, every night at 9. We'll be meeting up and, talking about this, that, or another thing. I just saw a message from Alec. He's the music guy that was talking about music and Web3 last Tuesday. If we're going to run a space tonight, we're probably going to be tapping into this and, talking a little bit more. So if you guys are into music and Web3, want to understand a little bit more about it, we'll dive into some more conversation if that's the case. If not, again, I'll be live at 9 and we'll figure out something to talk about. If it's just going to be Solana chilling, we'll be chilling. Otherwise, I will see you guys there. But again, if you guys got a project, a protocol, something you want to talk about on here, something I align with, something that, I said today, resonates with you and you ever want to join the conversation, you can join it simply by being a PFP, or you can show your face like me. It's really, really easy. And I don't knock you if you don't want to dox yourself. It's completely fine. Other than that, guys, I will see you back at GM chat tomorrow morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Gonna wrap this one up. You guys have a great rest of your day.